What is going on, guys? It is Up to Speed Podcast episode 10. Thank you for coming back. And before we go on, I really want to apologize for the quality of my audio in the last one. Hopefully it should be better in this one. Again, not with EK, but we hope you enjoy this episode. So in this episode, what we're going to be talking about is the Need for Speed Underground 3 Customization Wishlist. What me and Theo would like to see in, not even Underground 3, but an upcoming Need for Speed game.
Yeah.
Okay, so first on the list is carbon fiber.
Yes. Yes.
But I've also gone a bit more in depth and I've written hoods, roofs, trunks, spoilers, but also being able to put a vinyl on top of the carbon fiber.
Definitely. One thing that Forza does well, it does it as a paint type.
Yeah.
So you can individually select like the hood or the wing mirrors or whatever and make it. So that would be pretty cool, especially putting the vinyls on it.
Yeah. Also, if you look at Need for Speed Underground 1, Eddie's car has a carbon fiber hood, but it also has vinyls on top and decals, which the players were able to do.
Yeah, I remember
It's
that.
kind of unfair. Yeah. All right, next up, we've got a ceramic glass or roof. Sound cool?
Explain.
Okay, so you know some cars like the Alfa Romeo Brera has a glass roof?
Yeah.
Like I'd like to put a glass roof on a, say, a Skyline R34,
Yeah.
see how it
Okay,
looks.
yeah, that's good. Yeah, definitely would like that.
All right, next one is daytime running lamps, DRLs and LEDs. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, just think Audi R8.
Yeah. Yeah. I like those a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So that's a huge trend that has just taken off since the Audi R8 did it. You
Yeah.
see them everywhere now, everywhere.
A lot of the GTA Online cars have them, which is really cool. When you smash the lights as well, those stay
Oh
on.
yeah, they stay on, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of lights, we've also got angel eyes, and I want to know if Theo knows what I'm talking about. Do you know what I'm talking
Not
about?
really, no.
All right, so angel eyes, so this time you want to think BMW, and the rings are around the actual halogen
Yeah,
lamps.
okay.
Those are so awesome. But I
Yeah.
also like them to be able to be colored.
Mm.
That would be flipping awesome. So
Yeah,
they could
light
work on a
colours is
Corvette.
something that's not been in games for a while.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So in Underground 2, we could color the lights, but that was more of changing the tint of the actual lamp.
Mm.
But when you're not affecting the lamp and just coloring the ring around it, it really does make a cool effect.
Yeah.
I've seen it on Camaros, Corvettes, and of course BMWs.
So there's some guy, he had some like headlights where he had a mobile app,
Yeah.
and he was like changing the colours with like a colour wheel on the app.
Oh, yeah,
It
I've
was
seen
so,
that.
Yeah, it was so cool.
Yeah,
I definitely
Was
want to
there-
get that.
yeah. Oh, that's actually cool. So if you're actually able to change the color each
Yeah.
time you're in your car, you're thinking out of the box, Theo. I like that. Okay, and still on headlights, we've got eyelids. So one of my favorite headlights designs in Need for Speed Underground 1 and 2 was eyelids. It was like a strip of plastic or something that you put above the lights.
Yeah.
But I'd like it this time to be a separate part.
Okay. That's a good idea.
It just looks amazing on the R34.
Yeah. Anything looks amazing on the R34.
Okay, now onto the rear. We're onto smoked tail lights. I've seen a lot of American muscle cars do this. Chargers, Mustangs, Corvettes. What they do is smoke the tail lights. And if we have a kind of gradient where we're able to select 25%, 50%, 75% of smoke in the tail lights. So for example, think of a Corvette C6 with kind of grayish, blackish, blacked out rear lights. That just looks awesome to me.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
I like blacked out.
Yeah.
It's not often I black out a car, but I used to do it a lot. Like
Yeah,
just
me
have
too.
a complete black car, and I haven't been able to do that recently. It's probably why I haven't done it.
Craptastic Jack is gonna love that.
Yeah.
Okay, lift up spoilers. So with this, do you know what I'm talking about?
Not really.
I don't know if it's got a specific term, but Bugatti Veyron,
Okay,
Lexus LFA. So when you're going at a specific speed, the spoiler comes up, and that's
Yeah.
just awesome.
Yeah, I
Awesome,
know what you
awesome,
mean.
awesome.
Have you seen the LaFerrari where it has, it's like underneath the car as well. That moves to control the air.
Okay.
It's so weird. Like the whole car just kind of like splits away. It's so weird. But it
I
looks
actually haven't
awesome.
seen it.
So it's basically like I don't know. It's obviously to make it grip a lot more because it's hypercar and
Yeah.
the P1 does a really cool job with its wing as well. Like, that thing is stuck to the ground.
I'm so gonna watch that after this. The LaFerrari, yeah.
Yeah. The
Okay.
LaFerrari is crazy. It does it in the Crew as well, so that was pretty awesome.
Oh, nice. There's certain games I just don't copy the feature, but I
Yeah.
really like it when they do. Next up, we've got, and this is something I love from Forza, being able to remove the wing.
Yes, definitely. That is something that needs to be done. Because some cars, like, I don't know, I like wings, but some cars look just really basic yet really cool and different when they don't have a spoiler.
Exactly.
A lot of muscle cars have like the weird kind of. It's not really. It is a spoiler, but the little lip rather than an actual
lip spoiler.
Yeah. So having that removed sometimes looks pretty cool. So yeah, I'd like that.
Okay. Speaking of removing, I'd also like to remove car badges. Now, this is something I see when a car is just completely tricked out. They remove the badges, and sometimes they even replace it. I've seen a Cadillac CTS-V with a Batman symbol as the logo, and that was just hectic. It was hectic.
And that one would be. I'm not sure because manufacturers are so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
No, I wasn't actually talking about actual brands in Need for Speed, but I'm just saying like.
Oh yeah. I know.
Maybe a symbol like a fist or a gun or something like that, or a wheel.
But I mean, like, I think it was. Can you remember? What's his name? Deadmau5. His Ferrari. Because he removed the badge and changed it to a little Deadmau5 symbol, they told him that he should take everything off and put it back to stock. Whereas Nissan then said, "Here, you can do it 2 hours," and gave him that. So yeah.
Wow.
I think if they keep Ferrari, they're probably not gonna have anything like that. But yeah, that would be a cool idea. Like having your own logo or something as like on your car, that'd be pretty cool.
I can't believe that. So wait, Ferrari, a man paid what hundreds of dollars for your car, and he can't do what he wants to it.
Yeah, he couldn't like replace the badge. That was the main complaint.
Unbelievable. And Deadmau5 is actually huge as well, so I don't know why they wouldn't want that.
I mean, you can still tell what the car is. It's not as if it's. He even called it the Ferrari. It's.
Ferrari.
I couldn't believe when they did that. And then they called it the OMGTR or something. The Nissan.
Nice. Okay, so next on the list we've got color the trim of the car, and by the trim I mean the chrome around the window or the grille. Being able to color that, you could do that in Midnight Club, and I'd like that to come over to Need for Speed.
Definitely. One thing I liked about like in GTA Online what's it called? The Dodge Charger looking car, I forgot the name of it.
Buffalo, is it?
No. The older one. Dukes. Got there in the end. Dukes. So the Dukes, when that came out, that was pretty cool because you could change all of the the metal at the front and the bumper and everything as a secondary colour. Like, you can't do it to every car, but I mean, that car specifically, you could change the colour of the air intake at the front. So yeah, that was pretty cool, and I made it chrome, so it looks really nice.
Nice. Yeah, I've got black, chrome, and gold on this list.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, I'm sure you're not gonna know what this one is. Upswept exhaust.
Nope.
Okay, so this is something I see all the time on BMW E30s and E36s. It's like the exhaust kind of bends up a bit at the rear, just a bit.
Yeah. Okay.
And I just think it's absolutely awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
that would be cool. Like, even if it's just like when you're choosing your exhaust, or it's part of. I'm hoping that they will add some form of auto sculpt back, and that would like allow you to do that.
Yeah,
that would be pretty cool. Like, so you could change any one into a crazy big thing that sticks up in the air if you wanted to. That would be cool.
Yeah, GTA even has those.
Yeah.
But speaking of auto sculpt, I actually don't care if it makes a return or not. I just
wouldn't mind.
Feel like we're asking a lot of Ghost for them to do that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it kind of. I like the idea because it means everybody chooses that part. It'll be different. It'll mean less parts easily, but But I don't know. It's depends on how much you can change that part. Because if you can change it drastically, then I'm fine with like half the parts, for example. Because you could change a lot more with it.
Mm.
I mean that they were trying to make recently, auto log and all drive, things that are Need for Speed did that was it first. But one of their big things that's really cool, and I can't really think of any other game that's done it, is auto sculpt, and they haven't added that in since
Pro Street,
yeah. No,
Undercover.
Undercover. That's it. Yeah.
Wow, ages ago.
It is 2008, I think it is. It's crazy.
Time goes fast.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, so next on the list, I've got the ability to make single exhaust cars, dual exit exhaust cars. So if I have a little Peugeot 308, I want to make it a dual exit car if I want to. Like that, the option. Certain bumpers would do it in previous NFS games, but the actual option to do it, I would be content.
That would be good. That's one thing I like about the Crew. I know you can change it with the bumper, but my SLS has like some weird four line exhaust. Yeah, it's like I love that.
Or Vet C7 style.
Yeah.
All right, next up, I've actually got to ask you and the viewers, do you care about hydraulics?
Right, that's a hard one. I absolutely love hydraulics, and I'm like disappointed that it's not in GTA, because I don't know. There's just something about I love doing it in Midnight Club as well. That was another one that I think it was in. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind if it wasn't there, but I'd love it to be in there because it just looks cool. Like when you're just sitting there and using the hydraulics, and especially in lowriders. If you're doing it in something like a Peugeot, it's a bit But lowriders and stuff, like having like if they're having like a story or like separate areas, say there's like a gang of essays, in a certain area, you'd see them in lowriders, with hydraulics.
That would be cool,
Exactly, like different areas. That would be cool. And I could do pretend wheelies with it as well.
Oh yeah, I remember I used to do that in Underground too.
Yeah.
you let the front go up and then hit it.
Yeah.
Okay. I personally do not care about hydraulics. I liked the level 1 and 2 in Underground 2, if anyone remembers that. But then level 3 lets your car,
and then when it starts like jumping
jump off the floor. Yeah.
that was really
I don't want to
stupid.
see that. But what I do want to see is airbags, and this was in Midnight Club Los Angeles. Basically, the best way to remember this, your car would drive out the garage and go either up or down when you left it in idle, and that just gave me bonus.
Like you just stop and it just lowers down, and you could like choose how it does it. Like the back goes down and the front goes down, or each side.
Exactly.
That was
side
really
to side.
Cool. Just park up and then you just drop down, and people are like, whoa.
Yeah. All right, next up, I've got paints. So matte, metallic, gloss, candy, iridescent, pearlescent, and chrome.
Right.
Need for Speed 2015. I hope it goes in on the paint.
Yeah, it needs to. Paint, like, it seems like such a basic thing. Yeah. But it's really, really important that they have a lot of different types and stuff. But one thing I want to say is limit matte to black, okay? Because I see so many people with matte orange, and I'm like, no, I'm not a fan of other matte colours.
Yeah,
black for me.
I agree. Yeah. Even matte white sometimes pisses me off. Matte white, come on.
Yeah, one thing I'd like is, even if they didn't like kind of go crazy with this, and they gave you how Forza does it, they gave you, the colours. But you also had the ability to just literally put a big sticker over the car if you couldn't make the colour you wanted. And how you can do... you can get carbon fibre as a colour, and then it adds... You just lay a sticker on it, and it feels as if it's... it doesn't have the texture on it. It's kind of still like a metallic. So I'm not sure which way I'd want that. Because I kind of want the texture of carbon fibre still to be there. Sometimes I wouldn't. Like, say I wanted a different colour bonnet or something, I wouldn't want it to have the carbon fibre texture. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, I've seen that in Forza.
Yeah.
It's like a gloss version and a flat version.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Speaking of the paint, Ghost games, if you really want to show the next gen prowess of your game, paint is also a good place to do it.
Mm.
You know, with the reflections and lighting hitting off the car, paint is very important in a racing game.
Yeah, I mean, they did really well with the visuals of Rivals. Like, the game did look pretty damn good. But I don't know, like, there's just something about the cars that didn't feel like real. Maybe it's probably because they're always wet, for one. But I mean, like, what they could have done with that is make it like more reflective. You know, they're obsessed with lens flare at EA, so they could have kind of like made it lens flare off the car when you look at it at a certain angle because of the rain or whatever. You know, it would have been cool.
Yeah. Okay, so Need for Speed Underground 2 fans, I'm asking you guys, do you care about split hoods?
Ooh, I remember those, and I never liked them. I don't think. Like, I understand the concept of it. I like the idea that they open that way and they look cool like that, but they weren't very pretty most of the time, like when they were closed. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind, but I'd prefer like there to well, I'd like the option. Maybe it's like it's just an option with the hoods that are already normal hoods and they kind of just open a different way.
Yeah.
Then yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Me personally, I only liked a few of them, so I agree with you. Most of them are quite nasty.
Yeah.
But I think they should make a return, yeah.
Yeah. No.
Okay, next up, still regarding to NFS U2, spinners.
Yes. If
your
there are
opinion.
big cars, SUVs, spinners must be added. Like, I was
Yeah.
disappointed with the crew because there's no spinners. I wanted them on my Hummer.
Oh,
Hummer with spinners or like a Cadillac or yes. Peugeot? Maybe not. But no, the option for spinners is really cool. I hope there's more options though, because I remember them being quite limited. So I hope there's quite a few more of them.
cool. Me too. Spinners on the muscle cars and the SUVs always look fantastic.
Yeah.
And like they had this great thing where you could paint each kind of part precisely.
Yeah.
Speaking of precise painting on the wheels, I'd like to see actual manufactured wheels with precise painting. So you're like in Midnight Club, you're painting spoke A, spoke B, the knots, the logo, etc., etc.
Yeah, I remember that. That was really cool. I'd like that because, like, even if it's just the actual rim itself and kind of like the trim around it for some of them, because a lot of the time I want to say, I don't know, carbon fiber wheels and put like a red trim around it, and you know.
Oh, nice.
That would be really cool. Or like even a yellow, that would look good.
You're thinking Zentorna, aren't you?
Yeah. But yeah, different like color options for rims. Like that's one thing that annoys me about GTA. GTA's got some good rims. Obviously, they're not licensed ones, but some of them are limited to changing to like a little stripe in the middle of it, and you're like, I want to change the actual rim. That would look really cool in this color, and you can't change it. So yeah precise coloring would be good.
Okay, speaking of stock wheels, speaking of wheels, painting stock wheels has been something that has just been absent in racing games for some reason. Now this really pisses me off. Exactly. That's exactly like if I drive my Ford Fiesta into a garage and that garage tells me, sorry, they're stuck, we can't paint them, I don't know what I would do. It really pisses me off. So racing games from here on in, I'm not just talking about NFS U3, all racing games, please allow us to paint stock wheels because some of them are just fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of games in where like even GTA, the stock rims are literally the best fitting rims for that car, and if you change it because you want to change the color, then it
looks
takes
odd.
So you know it's a bit stupid having like the rims that match that car absolutely perfectly, and you can't use them because you can't choose the color, and it's like you end up with a mismatched car basically. You know, it's really weird. There's a glitch to do it on GTA, I think. Like there was anyway, but I think they patched it. Why would they patch it? Like that's something you want to keep.
Have they also patched that where you shoot the wheels and it makes the car go lower?
No, they didn't patch that. They're okay with that. That's cool.
All right. Okay, so related to wheels, we've got tires, and I'd like to see different types of tires, especially white walls.
Question I've got to add in here actually. Would you like so like there would be like a white wall or normal option like branded or something. But then, would you prefer them to be, as in the actual tires themselves, to do with performance? So they change like grip, or obviously, you got the race tires and you've got lower than that. Or would you prefer it to be like a visual modification, like only?
See, good question. I'm thinking more of the performance side.
Yeah, I'm thinking performance. So the higher the tire, the grip, and then when you go to visual modifications, that's where you can change it to like white wall, or you can change like the branding around it or something.
So is it like
I'd like some race tires that are on a lowrider with white walls? That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So having that option, that like separating the categories, would probably make for the best, I'd say.
Yeah.
But I also want I don't know. I'd want some form of different tires rather than just going grippiest. I want something else as well, like that's kind of maybe in between, or something completely different. That's like, say they did go to off-roading, like for little bits of a race or something, then have that in there as well.
Yeah, so I think I'd say performance side as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next up, this is something that's just not been present in Need for Speed games, but quite a few others. Interior customization. Do you guys want to see it in Need for Speed?
Now, it depends, because Need for Speed's always been like a third-person game.
Yeah.
So it's never really gone into the cockpit. It's a big job, I think, in making the interiors of cars, so they usually just black them out. So, I don't know. I would like interiors, I really would, because when I was on Midnight Club, for example, in a lowrider, again, I'd be in the cockpit view just looking at my friends about to drag race them, and it's like, it adds to the experience. Even in GTA, like, you can actually see people turn their heads towards you and stuff, which is really creepy at times. But and then you can just like stick your finger in the face or whatever. It's just quite funny. But I'd like first person to be added, but at the same time, I wouldn't mind if it's not there, because it's not been there from the beginning. So yeah.
Okay, so guys, do you hear that? We really don't mind.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, wide body kits, the optional ones, like Mantis. I can't remember what the other ones are called, but do you want them back?
I do, but at the same time, I would rather it be an individual part, if that makes sense, because there were a lot of wide bodies with some horrible parts that you couldn't change.
Yeah.
And like, say the front looked amazing, you look at the back, you're like, oh no. So you get rid of the whole thing. So I don't know. I'd like separate parts, but I think at the same time you might have some weird looking cars if you did that, because you'd have like wide body at the back and it's just normal at the front. So
yeah.
But at the same time, that may look cool. You never know. So yeah, I don't know. It's a hard one. I like wide bodies. I'd like them to be back.
Me, I'd absolutely love them to return.
Yeah.
I think Mantis was one of the ones that just always looked good.
If they have wide body with a lot of, if they had auto sculpts, for example, and had a lot of it, then you'd be able to fine tune it perfectly, or choose individual parts for a wide body. Like, say there's separate parts to a wide body, for example.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, we agree on that. So next up is unique vinyls, and I don't know how to phrase this, but in Underground 1, also 2, you had to do these kind of time challenge series things to get a unique vinyl, and they were absolutely special when you got them. I remember in Underground 1, on my Peugeot 206, there was this it was like a devil that was blue. I don't know if anyone can remember, but the vinyl went from the back to the front, and it was just absolutely stunning. So unique vinyls that actually kind of like take over the car but not overcrowd it.
Yeah,
I'd like to see those. Basically, vinyls that have had heart put into them.
Question on that: would you want all the vinyls to be like preset selected ones, or would you like people to make their own designs like in Forza?
I'd like both, because in Underground 1 you could actually do both. But
okay, yeah. I mean, I'd like a mixture of both. Like, say there's special ones, for example, like maybe like the Blacklist or Underground Racers use, for example, and you get them from beating them or something. Because,
Yeah.
we were saying before, in the last podcast, I think it was, about awarding players with stuff. So
Yeah.
they could say, like, vinyl of the month, and there's, like, one chance to get that specific vinyl. And, once that month's over, you didn't beat the challenge, you don't get that. And it's, like, unique to those people that got it.
That is actually sick.
It would be a good way, because, I mean, most games recently do, like, license plates to show off, which people can't really see unless you take someone down in Burnout or Need for Speed. So I like license plates, but vinyls just show more that you've done a lot better than everybody else. So yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Okay, so Nitrous Purge.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
Yes.
And colouring?
Yes. Everything.
Yeah, absolutely,
all of
yes.
it. Like, I miss that so much. Like,
Me too.
Just imagine this concept already. So we've got a blacked out car that
Yep.
just drops down as it arrives, and
I can imagine
Nitrous
already.
Purge, and just
Yep, with the angel eyes that are red as well.
yep. It's adding together.
Absolutely crazy. Okay, so the final thing I've got on this list is, if cockpit view is added, should the center consoles be used for menus to put you in the car more? So like controlling
Right.
music, seeing the map, going selecting a race.
Okay, so yeah, I think that should be, because that just makes it more immersive in a way. And
Yeah.
I think if you say you go into third person, it'll be the same, but it's like in the corner, like GTA's phone, for example. Like if you go in first person, you actually use the phone. Third person, it's just up on the screen. So
okay.
I'd like something like that. Maybe like, even if they just have a little device, like a little GPS thing that they have, and it does everything, so they can walk around with it when they get, like, if they got out of the car, for example, or in menus or whatever. So, like, it could be like a main device in where, say you're in a menu, it will tell you if your friends want to invite you to a race, or, that sort of thing. So I think that'd be good.
Nice.
So it's like familiar everywhere.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
But yeah, I'd like that. One thing I could link in with that, when you go into first person, like cockpit view, do you think the dials on the screen should disappear and use the ones in the car?
Absolutely. I don't want anything on my HUD
Yeah.
apart from my speedometer, tachometer, all of that stuff.
Yeah, because I mean, in Drive Club, when you switch to first person, you're just using, like, you've got a map in the screen, which could go on the console as well, in the actual
That would be
cockpit.
so cool. Fast and Furious style.
Yeah, because I think Test Drive did that. That was pretty cool. Test Drive 2. But that was only the GPS line, so there's no roads on it, so it's really awkward. But yeah, so having everything in the cockpit, that would be really, really cool. Just like, even if it's not an option, like, you can turn it on if you wanted to, like the hood, but
Yeah.
I'd turn it off.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so I said I was at the end of my list, but I actually thought of two more stuff just now. So
Okay.
I'm thinking, what was it called? Basically, you could customize the speedometers in Most Wanted and Underground 2.
Yes.
But in those, it looked a bit kind of like stickers.
They were a bit crap, really.
Yeah.
So I like the idea that you could customize each individual part still, and having it different was cool. And maybe, like, what they should do is, if the car, say for example you get a Ferrari, it will have the Ferrari dial on the screen if you're in third person.
Amazing.
That would be so cool. Like, just imagine, like, the Aventador one, like, high tech digital thing in the corner, and the LFA. We're designing the perfect racing game. This is the biggest
LFA.
budget racing game ever.
Yeah. The LFA, it actually couldn't use an analog dial because the engine was just too fast or something like that. So
be
seeing that
incredible.
on my screen, oh my god. I can't breathe.
Because, I mean, they'd already have, if they were doing the cockpit view, they'd already have pretty much the image done, and they just put it onto the screen. So that would be incredible.
Yeah, this should be a new standard.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last thing I think of is a heads-up display. It's like a kind of hologram that pops on your windshield as you're driving.
Yeah.
So being able to customize this in Underground 3, choose the color, shows you the nitrous tank, every single little detail on your windshield.
That would be really cool. Yeah, I really like that idea. Yeah, Because I mean, I was thinking like, if they did the interior view, where would the NOS kind of be? They'd need to like adjust, and Ferrari's like, no, you can't adjust that. So they just have it on the screen like a little device that it projects or something. So that would work. Like down the side of the window or something, you just see a NOS. Like
I'm shaking my head right now. Flipping how we have created the ultimate underground game.
Exactly, yeah, we have. I'd like to see all of that, but I mean, to be honest, I don't think we'll see everything.
Yeah.
I'm just, I'm hoping at least we'll have. I'm wanting to say, well, I hope we'll have auto sculpt, as to change the bumpers and the spoilers and everything, because that does open up a lot of things you can change. So you may have the same part, but mine will be like in the ground, and you might not have anything there at all. It would be very cool to have that in. Wide bodies, I want to see wide bodies again, because they drastically change a car.
Definitely.
The rim customizations, like even if it is just changing the stock rims color, I want that. Changing rim colors, changing like the ring around it or the bolt heads, anything like that. I mean, I can't see that being a massive job, as you just make individual parts and you can change the color of those as well. It's not you're making them anyway. You just make them a separate entity, I guess.
Exactly.
Cockpit view is probably a big job for the game. I'd love it, but if they did it, I don't know. Can you imagine them doing the cockpit view and then having the Criterion handling model? just you don't see anything. You're just drifting around like sideways all the time.
Oh, flipping out. That's a good point.
Yeah. So, there's that. But I mean, I would love the game to have everything that we said. Like that would just tick everybody's box. If anybody complained at that point, you just
crazy.
Like it has everything you'd need, kind of thing.
Yeah, you probably won't see half of this stuff, but
Yeah. I don't. I'm not sure if we'll see like auto sculpts or I just said the interior view or changing the dials. I'm expecting if they do add customization in, it's probably just going to be a couple of bumpers on that, a wing on that, maybe tinted windows. But I obviously I hope we see a lot more than that.
All right. So anything else you want to add to the list?
I can't think of anything. You pretty much covered everything. Oh, good point actually. Just thought of that just then. Talking about the Dukes earlier, air intakes. I need them. Like,
so is this like the kind of huge metal block on the hood? Okay.
I definitely want them. Like even if it like on any car, maybe that would be cool. Like just having like a a little Renault Clio with a huge like triple air intake.
That would be crazy.
The ones in Forza, they've actually got them in, and they affect performance. So not really underground style, but they're part of the HUD selection. But there's none that really like the metal blocks that stick out. They're all the actual like just the shaping of the hood of the car.
Oh, I see, the covered ones.
Yeah. So they're not really great, but I'd like to see like even if they're just results of that in say the muscle cars have the option of some of the hoods already there, but they have the thing sticking out the top. So they don't have to change much. Just cut a big hole in it and put a useless thing in there. Like, so that's one thing I'd like to say. Like most of the customization stuff in Underground or the next Need for Speed, I want it to be like the visual mods. I don't want it to affect performance. I want it to be separate, like it always has been. Like it's not Forza. I mean, I want tires to increase grip, but then visual customizations don't affect it in any way. Like if I made them carbon fiber, they should be lighter, but I don't want them to be. I want it to be very.
Speaking of that,
split.
Yeah, exactly. Me too. Speaking of that, Need for Speed Underground 1 and 2 had a kind of reputation system where that more newer or whatever your part is, the more reputation you have on your car.
Ooh.
Now that was cool, but we can't have this where it's affecting progression.
Yeah, it can't affect the progression because, like, I want to still like some of the early parts
Exactly,
look
yeah.
better than the
Than the
later on
newer
ones. And when I finish the game, or I'm gonna want to customize cars because that's all you're really gonna do.
Yeah.
And then obviously race them online. Hopefully, it's not just a crash fest. Um, so yeah, I'd like to play around with other parts that I've unlocked up throughout the whole story, and that's another reason why I don't want it to affect performance, because if you've got a higher end part and the older ones look better, it's more to your taste, should I say?
Cool.
And I don't want the big wing to affect how fast I go as well.
I'm just thinking about this cockpit view with your, what did you call it? The thing in the end on the hood.
Yeah.
What did you call it again?
Air intake.
Yeah, the air intake plus the criterion handling plus cockpit view.
Cockpit view, air intake. When you stop, it's got the airbags in a criterion game.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
It would be a bit of an odd mix. That's one thing. That's the main thing I'm worried about, to be honest. The criterion handling, because I think like even if they do all these customization things and the progressions there, the stories there, if I'm tapping to drift around corners and it's all country roads and it's
completely wrong.
Just wasted a whole 6 months or whatever making that car because I want to, actually drive it properly. And I don't know, like I want kind of, I'd say a Forza Horizon style handling, like that. If you play Forza 5 and you then play Horizon, you can tell straight away, like, although it's easy to drift, I don't want it to be that easy, it's very arcade because of the road style and stuff. I want it to be kind of like in the middle. I don't want it to be tap to drift. I don't want it to be Gran Turismo. Yeah, I want it to be kind of like The Crew, really. The Crew has the flexibility of, being a sim kind of thing, but it's arcade, definitely arcade, if that makes sense.
I'm with you. In Underground 1, there was this kind of, the map in Underground 1, oh my gosh, but basically some races, especially if you have a more higher end car, you really have to worry about this sharp corner you're about to take. And I want that threat, that feeling back.
And not just, oh, there's a corner, last minute, let's just tap the brake. Back end swings through the corner.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Definitely and definitely no crash cameras.
Oh. If they do it, like, in The Crew, it's so weird. Because, it's an always online game, it's multiplayer, everything's, like, in real time. You wouldn't think they have a crash camera, because if you're playing, then sort of slow down to crash camera or whatever. Yeah. So what's funny on The Crew is what they've done to deal with it is absolutely nothing. So when you see your friends smash into a car, you see them slow motion like float in the air. It's just like, what?
Does it affect you as well?
Yeah.
It's just them.
Well, it's just them. Like you just see their car kind of like float. If you hit their car, then you get the crash cam as well, which is in slow motion, and they see yours in slow. It's just like they haven't done anything to kind of change that, which I guess it's not too bad. Like if they the crash cam can't really work in how Most Wanted does it. Like online, if you're in a race, you have to sit there and watch your car crumple while people fly past you. Yeah. But in The Crew, if you crashed, like most of the time when you crash, it just bounces you off it in The Crew. But if it's like a head-on into a wall or into the back of a truck or a bus or something, then you can see the cutscene, but it can last about a second if you click a button to respawn. It's like the reset button. So yeah. I don't mind if you really, really want to. I don't mind as long as you don't make me sit through it. But I would prefer it not to be there.
Me too. All right, so I guess that's a really extensive list of stuff we'd like to see.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully they add the majority of it in. I doubt they will, but future reference, if you don't add it into this one, you can wait for the next one. Apply all the stuff, it's fine. Just put us in the credits and we'll be all right.
Yep. Cool. So viewers, I also want you to really join in on this one. What would you like to see? Just one item of what you really want to see most from this list, or even from your own ideas.
So if you've got like a big list you want to leave that. We'll send this to Ghostlight after a day or two of it being up. So, you know, make a list, and what I would say as well is your one thing that you would really want from the customization of Underground 3 or the next Need for Speed. Like, if you had to have one feature, then let us know.
Yeah. All right, that's been a very fun episode for me, and yes, it's coming to an end.
Yeah. So thanks for sticking by. If you followed it all the way through it, it's quite 45 minutes. It's not the longest, but I'm sure that people that are really wanting everything Underground, which I have a few people that do, you'll have watched this far. I think in the last Underground video, I made like an hour video of me just talking about what I want the next Need for Speed to be. And people actually watched it all the way through. It was just me, like, face cam talking. And it was like, people actually watched that? I was falling asleep throughout the video as well. It was just like... I kept, like, closing my eyes for a few seconds, like, trying to hide the fact I'm falling asleep. But no, if you... That was my dog, I think. if you watched all the way through, leave the keyword that I said in that video. Bananas, yeah. That's what I said, and people commented bananas, and that was pretty cool. But yeah, so if you enjoyed, please give us a like and let us know what you thought of the podcast. If you like kind of us talking about subjects like this, then let us know. We'll do more. Really, I think that would be like more Underground 3 or any game really. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else, Martin?
No, I think that's it.
All right, cool. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the new year, actually, because this will be up after Christmas, and the next one will be up, I think, 2nd, is it? Something like that. 2nd or 3rd. So, hopefully you had a good Christmas, because this goes up after Christmas. And, yeah, until next time, guys, peace.
Peace out.